The result I saw there was 64B. I went to my portal and I'm seeing 00F on this course. I was seeing F carry over Bagada for that course. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, my name is Ayomide. I am a biomedical scientist. I film about lifestyle, career, self-development, and every other good stuff. Please do subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other videos, and do every other good stuff. If you're a returning subscriber, you're my G, you know I love you already. In today's video, as you guys must have seen, I will be sharing a story with you guys today, a story of how I almost failed in medical school. Like I've said, I'm a biomedical scientist, which means I was in medical school. I graduated from medical school to the glory of God. So I want to share the story of how I almost did not want to make it. Okay, so I feel like from a story that I've shared with you guys, like a Q&A kind of session, you guys have suggested like a lot of stories for me to share, and who am I not to abide? So those are the stories that I've been sharing with you guys, because I feel like I've been doing more of story time on this channel. Okay, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. It's not so much talk, let's jump right into the video. First thing first, I need to tell you guys that I did diploma before going in for my degree. So my diploma lasted for 3 years. God helped me throughout the course of study, and if you've watched that video of I found myself in medical school, you must have seen how I went to study a course that I didn't even know anything about. It was when I was in MLT school that I developed more interest in this profession. Immediately I finished from diploma, I started to disturb my mom on how I want to go for my degree, which was in support. I think my dad was also in support earlier, but by the time I gained admission and the course and everything, my dad was like, you've always been attending a private school. So my daddy was looking at the cost and was like, is this degree actually necessary? Like, and I remember I had told my dad that it is a must for me to do it. I really need to do it, and we had a fight. Some other people around, like these people that are around my parents, also see it as me going to waste my parents' money. I'm saying this so that you guys will know like the genesis of the whole thing. I feel like at that point it was only my mom that believed in me, because she was the only one that was standing. Like, some of them, at the point in time, I had to start hearing that we'll see what she's going to bring out of this thing that she wants to go and do. Like, I must not fail, so that I can make my mom proud, and so that I can give a shut up to those people that were saying rubbish. Do you understand? So where the gist now begins. So in my school year, if you write your exam in the next 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks, just go to your portal. We have a portal, you just log in. It's like you're logging to a website, then you see your results there. So normally if you're a medical student, you should know that holidays, if school is giving two months holiday, just know that you are only entitled to 2 weeks, because the remaining part of the holiday you're going to be spending it for your clinical posting. So it was this 2 weeks holiday that I was going to spend at home, that I went home. I visited my dad, and I remember that day I was just scrolling through WhatsApp and I saw a message from my class group saying that our results for 300 level first semester is out. I went onto the portal and I saw the results, and the result wasn't complete. So normally your results is, if there is any result that is not going to be on the portal on time compared to others, it's going to be GNS courses, but now it was more than GNS. So I went back, and one thing about me is, any moment I go on my portal, I always make a screenshot. Even if I did not have anything to do there, I just go there, I'll make a screenshot of whatever thing that I'm seeing there. So I made a screenshot and I logged out. So I went on WhatsApp back and I started seeing how people were talking about their result not being complete. So I find out that it wasn't only me. So I think our class rep has circulated an information saying that they are trying to upgrade portal. So for now, we should just know that they're trying to upgrade the portal. So maybe that's why there are a lot of spaces on our results. So okay, so we resumed back for posting. After 2 weeks, we resumed back for posting, and I remember I was in the lab, I was hearing people discussing about results. I overheard people saying that their results, like some of their results, they put NA as the result of their exam, like not attended to, that they had to quickly go to the CIT. Now CIT is like I think communication, information technology, like anything that has to do with your portal and everything. If you have an issue with that, this is also where they used to, anything computer related. I can't remember the full meaning now. So like they had to go there and complain. So I was like, I thought they said the porter. Oh, I've skipped a part, guys. After a few days of checking my results, I went back to the porter. Now the result wasn't still complete, but something had happened. There is this course that I took in my 300 level, which is pharmacology. The result I saw there was 64B. So a few days after, I went to my portal and I'm seeing 00F on this course. I made a screenshot now. So I was like, sorry, I thought they said they are upgrading the portal and anything that is going on in our portal now, we should just try to ignore till they are done. They were like, no, not like this one that they are removing results. Like, it does not make sense now that they have to go and report. I'm like, so are you saying that I need to report because they removed one of my results as well? So they're like, yes. So I quickly excused myself. I sent a mail to CIT because my school was in the village and the hospital that we usually do posting is in the city. So I was staying in the city. I wasn't staying where the school was. So anytime I want to go for lecture, I had to travel down to school. So imagine me, now quickly hearing that traveling down. So I had to first send mail to the CIT. After a few days, they replied saying that I needed to come to school. So when I got to school, they were like, this issue, like after reading my mail, they realized that it's not from them, that I have to go to my department to sort it out. And I still wasn't seeing it as a big deal because I'm like, okay, if it's department issue, no problem. But that school hasn't resumed at that period. I waited till we resumed school. So when we resumed, I went to meet my HOD and I explained to him, and it was like I should go and meet my level advisor. Guys, all these things that I'm saying is already, month is already passing away, passing by. And before you see someone, you know how it used to take in school. Before you even see your HOD, it might even take you like 2 days. It might be, going and going and going, and they'll be telling you it's not on seat, it's not available. So before I even saw my HOD, it was already like, times was already passing. Don't forget that we're already in second semester 300 level. I had to look for days to be able to see my level advisor as well. And eventually when I saw him, he checked the system and it was like I should go and see the exam officer. Guys, at this point I was already confused and I'm like, what is going on? I mean, I saw my result 64B. What happened? How did I get to 00F? That's something that I did not understand, and nobody is explaining anything to me. So I had to look for days to see my exam officer again, and it checked the system and it was like, Ayomide, let me be sincere with you, your lecturer had made a mistake. And I'm like, what kind of mistakes? Sir said, okay, let me explain. Let's say for example my matric number is 500. So when my lecturer was collating results on his computer while he was sending it to, I think maybe forwarding it to the CIT or something, I don't know how they used to do it, from 499 it jumped to 501. So my lecturer omitted my matric number. So they found out on CIT and they had to remove the results. Now from CIT they are thinking that I did not sit for that exam because they can't find my matric number on the computerized one. Now how did they get my result on the portal initially? These are the things that I found out later, but so that you guys understand, let me just be chipping it in. They used the manual one to update the results. That was why I was able to see that 64B. You see how God used to do wonders. Now that they've updated the results in the portal, they now use the computerized one to make the work easier. So they use the computerized results to update all the students' results. Now it's now affected me. Exam officer was like, so you have to go to your lecturer and go and complain to him, let him do the needful so CIT can sort this thing out for you. By the time I will meet with this man, he was like, there is a problem because his laptop had formatted. So it was like, I will have to go back to the department, that there is nothing he can do. I still wasn't taking it serious. Like I was still like, okay, everything will be sorted out. It's not like I didn't sit for this exam. So it was like he's sure that I sat for the exam, and he checked his file. I was able to see my test result. It was like, if you can have this result in test, it means you passed. So I'm sure you write the exam. Yes, all these things that you're saying, they're not going to accept it in the CIT. They want to see evidence. Fast forward to the time where I was now in I think 400 level first semester, because so that you guys will know how long it took me to even get to that stage. And in my department at that point, due to accreditation issue, they were changing HODs anyhow. Okay, so they are changed HOD and I went to meet the new HOD. So I told him my predicament. So like, you know what, let's go to the college officer. College officer brought out this very big gigantic book which they call, I think, spreadsheet. So in this spreadsheet I found my results. So now the department believed that I sat down for that exam and I passed the exam. Like I've said, actually asked the college officer if it is like possible for us to take an evidence from that spreadsheet to the CIT so they can help me out. The college officer said
nothing can shift that spreadsheet from the college office.
So I remember he had called my level advisor and he told my level advisor that we should look for a day to go and search all the answer scripts in the department to look for my answer script. Like if they have my answer script together with the test result that my lecturer have, we're going to take it to the CIT. At the end of the day, back and forth, first semester 400 level was already passing. So I remember, I think second semester 400 level or end of first semester 400 level, I can't really remember now. We had time to go look for that results. We checked everywhere, guys. We couldn't find the results. At the end of the day, by the time we will see a folder that asks pharmacology for 300 level and we check, we were 180 something that sat down for that exam. We were seeing answer script of like 60, and unfortunately mine wasn't part of that 60. So I was concerned. I asked the level advisor, sir, we were 180 that sat for this exam, how come I'm seeing 60 something scripts? So that means that if any other person have issue now with their results, they can't find their scripts. So the level advisor was like, we should go to the HOD's office. So we went to the HOD's office. The HOD was like, there are other scripts here that we should check those ones. So we checked, we saw like 30 more. Mine wasn't part of the 30, guys. At this point, I was already thinking, this is not the devil's work, because I mean, I'm like, I went back home, I communicated with my mom, and my mom was like, we need to start praying because this is looking like a serious issue. 500 level first semester came and I'm like, this thing is not the play. I think I went to meet my level advisor. So when I went to meet my level advisor, first semester 500 level, guys, my level advisor was like, let
me tell you something. This thing, let me advise you. I will advise you go and rewrite that course.
Guys, immediately I heard that, I knew this was a lot. Like, I was close to tears. It was as if I've never heard that before in my life, because God has always been helping me. I've never had to write any course. I've never had to have, like carry over during any of my course of study. I've never failed any course. Like, why should I be rewriting a course that I did not fail? I called my mom and my mom was like, yeah. So now I had to go and meet. I think I thought about it and I realized that if I didn't rewrite that course, I will not have an opportunity to do it again, because that's the only first semester that I have left in school. I know it's not possible for me to register first semester course in second semester, so I had to register the course to meet my lecturer, and I'm like, sir, I am rewriting this course. And it was like,
unfortunately, I'm not the one that is taking that course anymore. They now have a new lecturer.
I'm like, what? So it was like, the person is an adjunct lecturer, the person is not even in our school, and the person used to come, and the person is a woman. Guys, I don't know why, but immediately he told me that, I had these negative thoughts in my mind. Like, I have this disappointment in my mind. Like, I have that feeling like this thing is not going to go well. I'm like, sir, please, can you please talk to this woman for me? I don't know, maybe because I heard woman, I don't know. I just had this negative thought like, are you sure this thing will go well? So I was already in the middle of me preparing for my seminar presentation, doing my projects planning, doing all those of things. I was even preparing for my first professional exam, guys. A lot on me, and immediately me hearing that, I'm like, sir, can you see this woman for me? It was like, no, it doesn't want to interfere in anything that has to do with that. Came to school, I saw the woman and I explained, and she acted like she did not even bother. She was like, join the class. Like, this is me that I won't be able to attend the class. I was trying to explain to her that I am currently doing my clinical posting and I stay in the town. I might not be able to attend the class. This was already like, I think mid-semester, because they were planning for tests. I remember she announced dates for the test that day, and I put that in mind, and I started, I asked one of the students to send me the material for the course. I wrote the test. Guys, let me explain the test for you. So I went for the test, and I've never written that kind of test before in my life. Even my secondary school that I used to say they were strict with academics, 10 questions, answer all, and it's not now ordinary 10. When you have 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 10, answer all, tests. I wrote it. I couldn't finish everything, but I did something. And I remember I was telling my friends that this course, this woman, she's not nice. The time I was going to write the exam, I remember it was like maybe a day before one of my exams in 500 level or a day after. So it stressed me to read for that course, guys. But I eventually went for the exam, and it wasn't easy at all. I'm not even going to lie, like I found it very difficult. Like this, so I did what I can do, and when I came out for the exam, I remember I was telling my friend that there's no way I'm going to have B in this exam, but C is not bad, right? So I was thinking I was going to have C. Start from a level, like if you're in your final year in my school, do not expect any results from your portal. So after you are done in school, the only thing you should be expecting is graduating list. That's when if your name is not on the graduating list, that's when you know that you have issue in school. So they don't used to paste 500 level results, so we're not expecting results. So I remember there was this Eid holiday, like Ileya holiday, and I traveled home. I visited my mom. I was scrolling through WhatsApp that night, and I saw a message on class group again that result is out. I wasn't bothered because I knew that we were not expecting results. Only for me to get another message from the class group saying they mistakenly pasted our results. So if you are online, you should quickly go and check. I was able to see my results. My 500 review results. Everything was okay. It was perfect. It was nice. But what did I see at the last part of this result? That course that I had written, guys. I was saying F carry over bagada for that course. I cried. I've never cried like that before in my life. You know when you're shedding tears and the test is like 1, 2, 3, 4 at the same time coming. My mom was not at home, nobody was at home, I was the only one at home. I was crying. I was weeping like I remember my mom came back with this energy, and I opened the door for her and she was like, what happened to you? Like she was scared because she had never seen me in that kind of position before. Like I was crying. My mom was like, ah. But immediately she said that, I started to remember everything that some people had said when I was going to study this course, and they were saying we will see what she's going to bring out from me. I'm like, wow. So on Otefegba, like this is the route, this is the route you want to take and catch me. This is second semester 500 level. There is no remedy again, so it has to be sorted out if I really want to graduate. So I remember I went that first day that I resumed to school. I remember I had to look for this man. I saw him. He asked me to make photocopy of those screenshots that I have with me, which I did, and I gave it to him. So after 2 weeks, I was expecting to see results. I wasn't hearing anything from him. He wasn't responding to my messages, and I'm like, what is going on? So I went to meet my exam officer. So when I went to meet my exam officer was like, are you serious? Like this thing has not been sorted out yet. I said, no, sir. He was pissed. He was angry. He was like, but this thing is not supposed to be taking this long now. Your lecturer knew that you wrote this exam. He was even saying it that you wrote this exam. He was like, oh, you know what? Go and make photocopy of this screenshot again and come and give it to me. But in my mind, I felt like he knew that my lecturer was intentionally doing that. Like he did not want to have anything to do with that. Meanwhile, it was the genesis of this whole thing initially. If his laptop was not formatted, if he had not omitted my matric number, I wouldn't be in this mess. So why is he trying to withdraw himself from the scenario in the first place? Do you understand? So see, Mr. This girl wrote this exam. She made the screenshot of this result from her portal. Now you are the one that made the mistake, because from college office we realized that the result is actually accurate. Are you saying that this girl is going to go and look for a way to edit results and put 64B by herself? She saw this on her portal, she made a screenshot, and thank God she has an evidence. Why can't you just sign this thing and let her take it to CIT and let her resolve this thing for him? My lecturer was like,
it's not like that, you know. It's not just easy for someone to just be signing something like that.
The exam officer was like, what are you saying? So you're saying that this girl, as she is now, she went ahead to forge a result? Is that what you're saying? No, you should know better than that. And the man was not like, I used to see her in class, she's actually a good girl, so sign this thing. God just used that exam officer for me. Like he signed that thing. After my lecturer signed that thing and wrote a note on it that, okay, this result is actually accurate, is something is that. So he took it to the CIT and he was like, I know you can go home. 2 weeks later, guys, I checked my portal and they've pasted that my 64B back to the portal. I was so excited. Like, I'm like, so this thing is this easy, and my lecturer was holding on to something that he was not supposed to do. Like, why? Now another problem is the fact that now I am seeing that 64B on my portal, and that 00F of that carryover was reflecting. So now I have 2 pharmacology course on my portal with 2 results, which is affecting my CGPA. So one has to go. and it's that carryover that I have to go. And they've changed the HOD again. This is a new HOD entirely. So when I went to meet the HOD was like, you have to write a letter to the Senate. In everything you are doing in this life, avoid having issue academically when you are in school. So I was like, what? So like, you are going to write a letter to the Senate through the HOD, through the Dean of Student Affairs, or blah blah blah. I was like, okay. So I went back to the exam officer. The exam officer was like, okay, you don't know how to write the letter, right? I said, yes, sir. So he was like, okay, bring out your laptop. So the exam officer drafted the letter for me, and all I did was to go and print it out, and I snapped it immediately so that I can, all those things. So I went to submit to the HOD. The HOD signed, it stamped on it. He said I should take it to the dean's office. So I took it to the dean's office, and the dean's secretary said I can drop it, that they are the one that will forward it to the Senate. After a month, guys, I wasn't hearing anything. I wasn't seeing any changes on my portal. Everything was still looking like it was. I was still seeing the 64B and the carryover on my portal. So it was a lot. I remember I came to school one day. I went to the dean's office. The dean's office, they told me they forwarded all the letters since So I went to the Senate office. So I went inside and I saw a man. So the man was like, okay, like what date? So I checked the picture that I snapped on my phone. I saw the date and I told the man, and the man was like, okay, that this was like a month ago, that they've had series of Senate meetings. I had to check. So I checked the system and was like, he did not even know where to trace the letter, that he's not sure my letter is with him. Like, if it was like a month ago, his letter is supposed to be in his office, but he's not saying anything like that I should drop my matric number, phone number, and it's going to get back to me. This man did not get back to me. A few weeks after, I was still expecting him to get back, and at this point I started messaging a lot of people. I messaged the student union president, my association president. At that point in time, I was you guys that I know, all these politics people in school. I started to message a lot of people because I was frustrated. I was tired. So they were giving me one particular man's number. So I called this man, and the man was like, I think he said he was on leave, or he was going on leave or something. So I don't know. He said he was going to be in school one particular day that I should come and meet him. I had to go. When I went there, the man was not even stable. He was just going and coming and everything. So I think he was going on leave, or he just resumed. I can't remember. I think he just resumed. So he was like, this is not even his resumption day, but he came to do something. Do you understand? Like, he was supposed. This was already December, guys. I was already done with school. I had written my final exams. I've signed out of school. So if I did not sort it out before the Senate approved results, my name is not going to be on graduating list. Something that I've been battling with since 300 level first semester. So by the time this man was set, I explained to him, and man was like, that is sure that they must have sorted that letter out, but let him check. So he did not even know where to check, because I said a month ago. So he just sat down and he was like, okay. So he checked one drawer. See, that drawer, the letters that are there are the letters that have been sorted out. Do you understand? Like, if at the end of the day, if they don't have any use for the letters again, they're going to dispatch it. Those are the letters that we will use for puff seller. So it was like, let him check. It was later that I got to know that that's the kind of letter that are there, because they've already packed them, they've rolled everything together. So he brought it out and he checked, and he saw my letter, guys. So my letter was part of the letter that Senate have stamped. They've written a note on it that they should help me sort it out. Do you understand? So they've packed the letters together with the letters that they want to go and trash. Meanwhile, the needful was not done. So the man just saw the letter and opened his mouth wide, like, how long have you been on this? I told him, and he was like, wow. Like, if he had not come to office today, maybe by the time he resumed from leave, he was going to just come to the office and dispatch all this letter, like, just to trash it. Let me say, trash the letter. That this letter, that they've written on it that they should help me remove that carryover. Like, Senate understood what I was going through. They said they should remove that carryover. Now, the only thing is somebody to carry this letter and take it to CIT for CIT to do the needful, and nobody took this letter to CIT. Guys, at that point, I was just crying. Like, God, are you serious? And I've been going and guys, I told you my school was in the village. I would travel, going and coming. See, guys, the way God used to do things, This man was like, okay, 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 don't worry, you can go. So I saw the man took the letter and took it to CIT immediately. So which means I'm supposed to be expecting results. So after like a week or so, I was just randomly checking I wanted to go check my portal, but I was still doubtful. You know, when you're going to check something, you're like this. So I was still doubtful, and at the end of the day, I was able to check it, and I saw that they've removed the carryover from my portal, and my portal is not looking like my portal. Do you understand? Like, my portal is not looking accurate, and my result has been sorted out. This was December 23. I remember I was crying, I was rolling on the floor, I was shouting. I called my mom was happy. Everybody that was around me that knew about this was like, wow, God is wonderful. So that's that about the story. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are going through anything academically, please don't forget that God is the #1 plug that you need to pray to. Okay, you need to forget to like, don't forget to drop a comment, share. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel. It's always stay cool, stay calm, and be happy. Bye guys, I love you.